time is supposed to stay. Pesach is supposed to come along with you all year. You need Pesach became, and you're supposed to stay with this all year round. The feeling that Pesach gives you, stay with it. Give yourself a boost. Don't be scared of nothing. Don't be afraid of anything. By the way, who was the one at Har Sinai? Moshe. Yeah, Moshe and Aaron went towards Paro's palace as soon as they saw the lions. It was horrors getting near that palace. Hashem Yerachim. They would gobble each person up alive. Those creatures, the animals they had there. And all this Kedem kept Moshe and Aaron, we're going. And we're all going to go to Paro's palace. And everybody in the middle, they disappeared behind the back roads. And Moshe and Aaron continued going because Moshe and Aaron were Novhardok. They had a good training about who's boss in this world. This kingdom, they didn't make it. And the Eibishter, it says by Har Sinai, they weren't zeicher the way Moshe Rabbeinu was zeicher. Because there's a Maisa. What are you going to say with Mordechai? Mordechai also did the same thing. The other Sanhedrin, where were they? They were in his Madrega. What do you do with Shimon ben Shatach? The halacha is that a melech cannot be done. He can't judge others, and you can't judge him because of a ma'aseh shoya. Shimon ben Shatach was sitting there when Yarei HaMelech slaves killed a human being, and you had a slave had to come to Beis Din. So Shimon ben Shatach, the Reish Sanhedrin, says, "Okay, we want Yahweh Bal Ashar v'Yabed Al Shairei." Shimon ben Shatach. Yarei HaMelech, you're coming too. Who's Yarei HaMelech? A cutthroat, a notorious cutthroat who killed something the Chachamim left and right. They were petrified of him. He was a Russia. And Shimon ben Shatach is not spoiled from him. And he says, you're coming here. And he came. And when he came, he noticed everybody flushed the whole Bezdin. 71 people were petrified of him. And they're all looking down. They didn't want to get involved. When Shimon ben Shatach orders him, okay. Now, you got to stand up. Yahweh Bal Ashar v'Yabed Al Shairei. Your shar killed somebody, your slave killed somebody. You got to stand up. The owner got to stand up. And he tells this to a king. He tells this to a melech. And not Stam a melech or Russia, who was notorious for his hatred for Chazal. And he goes ahead and tells him, well, you got to stand up. This is no good. Shem ben Shatach. That's the Reish Sanhedrin. The word Sanhedrin means Soidei Hadras Ponim Bedin. Comes to din. I hate this stuff. Don't scare me. That's an emissary. Reish Shemayim L'Sugurim P'nei. It's a mitzvah for Sanhedrin. They're not allowed to be afraid of people. Sanhedrin means Soidei Hadras Ponim Bedin. That's Shimon ben Shatach, a Reish Sanhedrin. That's the way you're supposed to conduct yourself. That's Mordechai, who was also Reish Sanhedrin. And everyone's running away, and he stands up to Haman. He had good training. A Reish Sanhedrin has good training not to be afraid of humans. That's what he's all about. And he was an Einikol of Shimon ben Gera, who threw rocks at David HaMelech. He's not afraid. They're not scared. They're not scared. They're not scared. That's a Reish Sanhedrin. Anyway, Shimon ben Shatach standing, he says, so all the people around him, they were so afraid. So Shimon ben Shatach looks at, and the Melech says, you're the only one telling me to do this. What about your friends? So he looks to the right, and they all look down. He looks to the left. They all 36 Sanhedrin is a semicircle, you know. He's in the middle. And they all looked down. And he said he got upset with them. They were afraid to look him in the face. And he was angry at them. And he says, Yahweh Bal Machshava, you see, the Eibishter should take the comment. Gabriel HaMelech came down and took all those Sanhedrin and threw them to the ground. That was the end. And from that day on, they paskin that you can't be done a king. Look what happened. You'll see, you don't chepa with a king, except if it's from Malchus Beis David. Malchus Beis David, they are taught, according to Aruch HaShulchan, even the bad ones had fear of Nevi'im. There's a Maaseh with Ochaz HaMelech, who's a Russia, the father of Chizkiah. And he was afraid of a Navi. Even David David is a different league, different people. Anova, they had a lot of Anova over there. Anyway, the way they ate Chizkiah HaMelech, they had complaints against Chizkiah HaMelech. We don't want him to be the king. What does he eat? They had another fellow from another Pekach ben Ramalia who used to eat 40 geizlis for dessert, for Chinuach Suda. 40 geizlis, these little, I don't know, Cornish hens, I don't know what they are. Little birds, sup them up. That's a king. Yes, in America we're all kings. Everybody's a king in America. They eat. Oh, that's a king. He knows how to eat. So they wanted Pekach ben Ramalia to be the king. And Pekach Ramalia, and they didn't want Chizkiah. Chizkiah ate 1 liter of vegetables. That's it for his meal. Chizkiah Melech. And he wasn't grandiose. He wasn't one of those. He was just the opposite. He left at Olam Hazeh. He was a Ben Torah, Chizkiah Melech. Could have been Mashiach. They didn't want Chizkiah. Anyway, and Chizkiah Melech was also fearless. When they had the whole Assyrian army, 1 million soldiers, what they had 200,000 on the Erech. Just the generals alone, as some say. Right, they were coming, marching to Jerusalem. They had conquered all our Yehуда. And he's not scared. He tells us, don't worry about them. We got the Eibishter. There's a real anicle of David HaMelech. What did David HaMelech say when he saw Goliath Plishti? He said, we're better than them. We're stronger than them. We have the Eibishter. Who's this giant? Scared of him? With Goliath Plishti, and he killed him with a pea shooter with a stone. The Moshe and Aaron were fearless. They marched up without any fear. They marched up to Paro's palace without fear. Where'd they get it from? They got it from Mamala, from his mother and his sister. You know what Miriam told Paro? You wicked king! She was a 5-year-old bubbler. You wicked king, you're killing people. And Paro said, you talk like that to me? So Yocheved stuck her, hey, she's a baby, leave her alone. He wanted to kill her on the spot. And Yocheved also, they lied to Achashverosh. I'm sorry, to Paro. You see, by me, it's Purim already. Achashverosh is back in business by me. I tied her to 4 cups. Why do you drink 4 cups? To start the year off. That's the way it's supposed to look. Start at 4, drink. And by the way, you're not Yitzchak. Moshe held the grape juice is no good. You're not Yitzchak. You're not Cheres means alcohol. Get moving, Rabbi says. You start the year, the Jewish year starts with Zman saying enjoy. Cheres from the Yitzhahara, Cheres from fear of people. It'll kill you. You're afraid of people. What does he say? That made a good impression? Did it? Impression. Did it? Oh, not so good. Oh, he doesn't like me. You know when I learn Musa? When you learn Musa on Bטחון, your head's supposed to circulate with all kinds of, all these fears. I said the wrong thing to him. You're supposed to make a bittel of all that stuff while you learn Musa. Or when you say, you say it again and again. When you're afraid of people. Or when your kid's giving you aggravation. It's COVID. In Novandik, they know exactly what the problem is. When your wife's yelling at you, say it 20 times, not once. With a niggin. I had a mice 10 years ago. I walked in the base medrash. I wanted to write my Bטחון weekly. Now I looked for somebody who knows how to learn. I need to discuss my stuff. It's going to be for the public. The Lakewood Island, don't mess with them. This guy is from Brisk and from, they know that stuff. Don't mess with them. Don't you dare write a Kruvas word. I'll kill you. This is Lakewood, Mabotai. Don't mess. These are Litvakis over here. They have super alumnus, they call it. You start up with this cover here. Anyway, this time I want to write. I enjoy myself to be mafalpal and learning. It's great. Find out if you're right, you're wrong. Let them kill you. Yeah, it's fine. That's the game. You let them. I look, when I have a vort that I want to give to the public, I choose, there are certain people I'm always running over to. And they are all people that are ready to put me in my place. I am a Gilgal of Rabbi Yechon. That Rabbi Elazar ben Pados, who brought him a 24 rayas to everything he said, wasn't what he was looking for. He wanted Bar Lakisha, Resh Lakish, that every move he made, no good, Rebbe. You're wrong. I like Rabbi Yechon's approach. Anyway, I like they say with Belsky, Rabbi Belsky Zecher Tzadik Devracha, Rabbi Belsky, here he comes. Rabbi Belsky, Belsky, his family, these people have a certain refinedness and not for the door. That whole family, Benjamin Wilhelms, Einiklach, Heilige people. I'm from the same Olam, the Mandels, with the Belskys, with the Wilhelms, with the title, with the place, the Hershkowitzes, Mike Tress. It was a whole same family those days. Shaga Feigels. The whole Klal was those two families. Anyway, so he saw Belsky. He went to see Rabbi Yashiv. Rabbi Yashiv loved him. He was just eating him up. He literally rubbed his hands. He did something there to show his love for him. And they asked Rabbi Belsky, how come he loves you so much? So I think this story goes, you tell me if I'm right. So we got a family man right in. He walked right just in time to check out. So he said he likes a rischa deraisa. I understood that Rabbi Yashiv liked somebody who could fight him back a little bit. What? There you go. And he liked it. So he loved them. Now I'm the same way. I run. All the guys that shepherd me, I love them. Because I know where I'm standing. You know, there are certain, I felt a little bit, certain very big Talmud Chacham. I never go to him. Never went to him. Went to him once or twice. It was over. He was very good. He was a lamdan. He knew a lot, the Talmud Chacham. But whatever I said, oh yeah, you're right. For that reason, you're right. Yeah, I got more rayas. You're right. I said, hey, wait a minute. This is the Mahalach. I want to tell me why I'm wrong. Come on, let's get Lebedik around here. We can't say it. So I go. I have my certain shepherd that know how to tell me when I'm no good. Because about 10 years ago, there was somebody I used to go to. But I loved him. He was a little much. Like, he was really tough. I mean, when you walk into the Beis Medrash at any given time, if you hear thunder and lightning, I guarantee you it's him. He's a goin. He really, really is a little bit too much for me. He knows so much that you can't get past him anything. He's a goin. He's in Bekiyas and Charifas, and he lives in learning. He's a pleasure. He's a real Talmud Chacham. So I go to him also. I like him. And he, as soon as I walked the Beis Medrash, I was looking for a sefer that I needed because I was going to put something together on my Bטחון weekly. I needed I had a vort. I want to check it out. So I asked somebody, can you get me the sefer? So the guy, he sees me. Oh, Mendel is here. Here's Madregas Adam. Right away, he says, Madregas Adam. And he smiles. Oh, that's what you want. He says, all right, we'll take it. I'm going to refuse Madregas Adam. I didn't realize they're going to need that in a minute. So anyway, then I started getting my Indian over there. And then this fellow, this Gaini, he is not shy. I don't know if Malikud has too many people in his caliber. Has a lima, he's leading and learning, and it's amkus, and he's just gavaldik. He's up my anyway, but he gets carried away. That's true. I'll admit to that. And sometimes I say, okay. Anyway, and that's exactly what happened. I taka needed him, Madregas Adam. So he started, I told him my piece. He opened his mouth and screamed at me like you. He destroyed me. And I let him have it too. I yelled back at him, you're out of your mind. I enjoy not being this powerful from such a guy too. That to me, that's a specialty, you know. Oh, you're the guy that everyone's shaking. Okay, let's have it. Now, let's see what you can do with me. I'm the Baal Musa around here. And I one time knew a Gemara. This is more drishtika type of stuff. I was once in a sugya that I punk knew better than he did. I had learned it. And I learned how it. Destroyed him. I had something, a beautiful shtickle, a Rishon. I remember it was Merdy. And he couldn't help it. I just wiped the floor with him. I'm a chaya. Anyway, so he let me have it. He really, it was a little too much on his part. He was out of hand. And I think I was also guilty with getting carried away. And I was already huffing and puffing, and I really needed to calm down. I was like, and sure enough, now I knew the hashgacha why somebody passed me to Madregas Adam. And I looked at it. Rabbi said, I can't describe to you that sefer. Then there's one, hey, look at Madregas Adam. The way he knocks all those midas rois, he makes fun of them. He knows how to do it. Madregas Adam knows that's fine. But he says, yeah, you have this Madregas Adam one. He has a bטחון. Oh, that's Madregas Adam. Every word he says, open any way you want. I do it. You have to know his language a little bit. He makes a joke. Hey, Malakane Chaya Chavra Zois. You have kinna when you see all these guys, a group that you're not part of, yeah? That bothers you, right? Makes a joke out of all that stuff. This is because of Shleimus Perek. Yeah, wherever he is. Olam Haba, you're not worried about. Yeah, he puts you in your place. It's delicious. There's nothing in Madregas Adam. He makes a chayzik out of the whole Olam Haza, and he knows how to do it. He makes the baits. He's very good. Anyway, so I take a look. Well, I'm a little too much. We broke off at that point. It was over. I mean, I couldn't. Nobody was talking to anybody. So I take out this, but I had to get back. I was learning something. But while I'm learning, I wasn't learning Bamducha at that point. So I took out a Madregas, I read a few lines with a niggin. How it puts you in a different world. You're in a different world. You don't have time for this nonsense. I yelled at him, I'm angry, he's angry, I'm angry. Leave me alone. And you're learning Musa with a geshmak, with a niggin. And I did it a few times. Boy, it calmed me down. A few minutes later, I need another injection. While in the middle, I was learning Be'iyun. And I came back to this and back to that. A few shots, I was fine. Then when I said goodbye, the day was over. I was leaving I'm punked. I bump into him, and best friends, like we're ready to kiss each other. That's the power of Liman Amos. Puts you in a different world. You learn that stuff. You're in a different world. It was cuffed to fight around. What are you doing? They can get you not to be afraid of physical problems too. They say about a great Novandiga, he had Machlach Manul son in his throat, Hashem Yerachim, and he was walking around. The Elam was saying with pain, everything. He said the man's not in this world. Doesn't bother him. Oh, I saw Weinkrantz 2 weeks before he was nifta. He was like in Gan Eden. I saw him nothing 2 weeks before he was nifta too. Same way, he was vowing. They say he knew he was going. And they were just in their own world. The simcha of learning Musa, how kedai it is to join the Musa club. I advise everybody, become a Baal Musa, get into it. I'm begging the Eibishter to help. We should give it a ruach of the old spirit of the Novhardok, where they learn Musa with a bren. I want to tell you something. Rabbi Yamin Salberger, from Beis Talmud, I once saw him learning Musa. here in Lakewood. And he wasn't an Nובהרדוק, but the way he learned Musa, oh boy, I could have eaten him up. Was he delicious. With a niggin quietly by himself for half an hour. They're learning Musa, the sweetness. These American Harrys could do it too. I'm telling you. I was in once in a chabura where they were learning B'kiyas Teka chabura. They made for a while, they made a Seder and Musa at the end of the after Meir. It was murder. It was really good. Right here, like I have to go back to Nובהרדוק 200 years. I mean, they're good people. Our Harrys, they're quite good. They could learn Musa, but still, we want to bring back the good old. We want to make a society where all we care about, how's the kinder problem? How's the time of the COVID? The world around us is so different. I'll tell you something. I heard this twice. I heard it from Chaim Halpern, Zatzal, and I heard it from Pinchas Menachem Malach, his son. Zatzal, his son is a Ger Chassid, a Tairi young man. He spoke at his father's Yortzei, and he asked him the question. He says, the Ger is very involved in Kedusha. How come the Nובהרדוק has never addressed those issues, with preachers? So he said, if you would know the way we learn Musa, you wouldn't even dream of that stuff. You're in a different world. You have to chop what's happening. Zapjat, you have an issue. You're in a different world. You have no head for this stuff. You're the sweetness of learning Musa with a simcha. You can't compare anything to it. I heard the same here in Halpern. He said that whole issue is dead. I mean, he says, you learn Musa the way he learned Musa for hours. He says, just forget it. It's just, you don't have to deal with it. It's not unbelievable. Musa, living and learning, hopefully, but very hopefully, by some people, can ganz fine kill the Yitzhara. The sweetness of a Abai and Rava, is not a joke. Late at night, you're sitting and learning all day. By the way, those who learn full time, 3-star and don't stop, it's easier for them than the guys who have to chop up the day. It's easier. That's what they say. And Chazinish said something like that. It's true. Really ligging and learning. If I get it, who has a cup for other things? Don't you? But let's get back to Musa. Rabban Kotli, even though he lived and learning more than anybody, he held Musa as Musa. And came Musa say that even Reb Gershon and Reb Chaim Halpern wanted to chop a shmuz with him. He said, it's Musa. He had to tell the Nובהרדוקers. They were so embarrassed. He had to tell them, it's Musa. Anyway, there's nothing like Limud Musa. Rabbi said, but for our days, as long as we try, that's the main thing. Now, let's get the latest stories. What's going on? Now, first of all, I said a vote, that's a bomba. Today was my father's yahrzeit. Every time, there are two things I don't like on my father's yahrzeit. One, I got to hustle to get that omid. You go out of your mind. There's someone sitting there for the last 2 hours, and he's saying, I was here first. And there's another guy right next to him. I was there. And then you walk in. Get lost, dude. Where do you come into this? They're busy killing each other. Now you want to join them. It's over. Okay, so let's wait for the next minion. Next minion comes. Before you get near, I'm sorry, I got the spot for my father. Now, I like to be a nice person and give in Le'ilui Nishmas, but I like to put up a fight too. I think it's a Swiss if you know how, when to fight. You have to watch what you're doing, but anyway. So today I got up, I said, last night I davened, Abish to please give me the Amid. I want the Amid, and I don't want no fighting with anybody. I just don't want it. Abish to do me a favor. I just don't want that stuff. I want to get the Amid, goodbye. This morning I got up just in time, 10 minutes before davening, But I would go to Kel Shimshon. Don't go to Kel Shimshon, go to Sabbath. There's much more chance to get a minyan. Kel Shimshon, it's such a small, there's just a few minyanim there. I'm going to Kel Shimshon. Right now I'm here. Eibishter, get me that minyan. I don't want to be bothered with this. I come in there. I didn't have to fire a shot. No, it was, Ahmed was mine. Now another thing. My father's keva. I want to have a big oilam there. It's not always, doesn't always, we all live in your, but this family member lives here, that lives, so it doesn't always coincide. And I just said, Eibishter, I want them all together this time. I don't want the usual stuff. And I did a minimum ishtalis. I called this sister, this brother, that, 1, 2, 3. Yaitza, hey, next, David, Eibishter. Make it geschmack. I want a minyan with a kaddish with the whole works in there. I come in there today, it's exactly what I got. Not only that, but my nephew took me to the cemetery. I didn't have to drive myself. I was able to learn in the car. You daven, just daven. Look, son, I never get this. I got it all. I got the Yom right away. And again, this chusi I got to lay to my father. I got to tell you something about cemeteries. My father is buried next to his 3 brothers, Reb Manis, Reb Peches, Uncle Ruby, 4 tzaddikim gemurim, the sweetest people you ever met. The Mendel breeder, they're all right next to each other. And Woodbridge, in Beth Israel of Woodbridge. And so I go there every year. So they're together. Now, I've been there alone more than once in freezing, rainy weather. And I'm davening, Eibishter, I'm kvetching, I need this. Eibishter, I need that. Eibishter, please, now I need this. Maybe my father taught, maybe tell the Eibishter, I need this. Taught, maybe that. But Uncle Manis, I start speaking to all of them, especially my father. And because whatever happens, that's it. I'm in the middle of kvetching, and suddenly he says, once stop it. I was there a long time. This particular, I was alone. I says, what about thanking the Eibishter? You go to your father's keva. What should you do there? Thank him. I says, Eibishter, thank you. This person taught me that there's an Eibishter in the world. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. My father did for me. I said that. And then I started thanking and thanking. As soon as I started thanking, the sun came out. The sun came out. And it became so lichtig. You know, a friend of mine told me he got into a fight with his wife in a car. And as he was fighting, a big truck almost turned over right in front of him. And he got the message. When you get in cast, that's what you're doing to the whole world. You're causing big trucks to shake. You're causing the whole bria. When there's anger, I know a guy, he was davening in his carpool. And he was davening with a niggin, with a sweetness. And he needed a Yeshua. And as soon as he came home, he got the Yeshua. And Yeshua looked just like the niggin. The Yeshua came with a geshmak, with a simcha. Just the way he davened is the way the Yeshua came. That's something. Anyway, you got to thank the Eibishter, your parents, for everything. Yeah. So my father was a Malamed for 70 years. And I'll tell you one maisa with my father, that's Neir. He said, from all the maisas, this I didn't know B'chayev. He said, check out that boy. There was a boy in his class, he insisted they should check him out. What are his roots? They checked him out, and they found out something. He's not Jewish. They never had a gator. Something, boom. Something was not right. And how do you know my father? My father used to daven for all his talmidim, and they always got Yeshuas. And this guy is not getting no Yeshuas. He said, "It can't be." My father had such faith in his own tefillos. Imagine. I was wondering, how did I become so great? How did I become so great? Now I know. You know, I want to tell you something about parents. Whatever you think you are, baloney. Your father davened. That's why. Don't give yourself no credit. But my father, don't give me about this. My mommy, she used to patch me. No, she davened for you also, you know, that you don't know about. She davened for you. Anything good about you, thank your parents. You got to be thankful. One of the briskers, I think in Beis Halevi told Reb Chaim told, one of them told the son, anything you are, it's only the reason you're getting covered, it's all because of me. Don't get so carried away. You never heard this? The brisker of them knows this stuff. Put them in the place. Today you don't do that. I mean, I have a different approach. I said something recently, a nasty thing to say. My father's greatness, he was zecher to me. Now listen to this. We're originalists. You know the Heilige Original Zayda said. The Heilige Original himself, Zayda said, my greatness is I was zecher to such a son. And the son said, my greatness, I was zecher to the Heilige Original. And my yichus, what's my yichus? And the Heilige Original said, my yichus is my 6 sons. So, I want to give myself a plug, as usual. I don't want to chas v'shal be Mesiach Das from being the biggest Balgaiva in the world. I don't want to be Mesiach Das from my, I want to stick to my, you're allowed to have plenty of humility towards your parents, but sometimes you need to wait till you're ready for that. Some people got a lot of waiting to do. Look at you, what did the Yetzer Tzaddik do? You want to do kibbut avein? Become something. And then say, I thank all this, I know it's you, Tao. But the violin, you got to blow. Look what Yosef does. Everyone's bowing down to me, including Tati and Mommy. Wow! He couldn't stand it. Who do you think you are? Sebetוכem. That's the way he talks. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, these were giants. They were powerful. Physically, they were super strong. And I want to tie that the super strong was a simon on the greatness spiritually. Reuven was a bomb. Shevet Reuven, God, but Reuven, Shevet God used to hack their enemies and they used to crack them in half. You know what they did when they went to battle? You could tell Shevet, I don't believe they ever lost. Whenever they went to battle, Shevet God was even stronger than Shevet Yehuda, Shevet Reuven. Reuven and God were together, two front line. We'll go in the front line. They offered, you know what it means to be in cannon fodder. You know what the belt calls the frontliners? Cannon fodder. They're dead. They're the ones that are going to get killed. So the other guys will come back and say, we won. But the guys in the front line, they're the scapegoats. They're the nebels who have to. But they all came back. Shevet God and Bnei God, Bnei Reuven, they say God was stronger. When God went to battle, he chopped his enemy in half. The head and the hand. I want that to tiny. They used to go to battle with tefillin on. You know that? They used to go to battle with tefillin. With Shema Yisrael. Beis Halevi says they used to win with the Abish. They didn't win with, with Shema Yisrael and with tefillin. So Bnei God, that might have something to do with it. They hacked their enemies in half. The head and the hand. Shel Rosh and Shel Yad. The koyach of there, I don't know. I think it has something to do with it. Whatever. So Yosef HaTzadik is speaking to these bombs. His older brothers, Reuven, Shimon, don't mess with him. Shimon and Levi. Yeah, start up with them. You're all bowing down to me. I'm not scared of you and you. Yehuda, Yehuda. You want to get into trouble? You know what Yehuda was? He's biting, but they were. When Yehuda got angry, the blood came out of his eyes. Ugh. When he got angry, he had 8 begodim, he had a whole, he was a king, and the hair came cracking through the begodim. And some say 2 poles came out, and he didn't lift a finger. He just walked into battle, and everybody's flying dead like a joke. Yehuda! He gave a roar like a lion. People went flying, and Shimon, all these, they were giants, every one of them. And Yosef, all you chevra bowing down to me, including Tati and Mommy. Anybody worried about Gaius? Did anybody address the Gaius issue over here? Does anybody talk about it? Oh yeah, the Nevuah, that answers it. They had a lot of other things that he did there. I heard that Rabbi Mullah did say something about Yehuda's Yosef's Raymond was whatever. But a person has to look. I don't know the pshat. Asa was the big Bal Kibarav, you know. He didn't know what Yosef did, right? And Yosef is the Sitna Shal Yosef. Your father wants you to be something. Each one's different than the other one. Yitzchak is Tefillah. Avraham, I'm not open house type. I'm Surach Basoda type. And Yaakov, I'm the learning type. He's the Litvak. Whatever you want to say. They're all, each one's different. Each person is his own self. And then you be mabatal yourself to your father. It's a different ball game. Sometimes everybody's different. Every situation is different. Anyway, a person has to be what he is. That's extremely important. My father told me a Maisa about the Shinova Rebbe. He was the oldest son of Reb Chaim Tzanza, and he was the most. He did not. All Reb Chaim Tzanza's sons were Gedolim and Tzadikim, and they did whatever the father said, except for the Shinova. Shinova always did different. I think the Shinova once said, "I'm just like you, Ta. You are different than all your others, and I'm different. You know, I'm also like you." That's what they say. But they say he was the biggest in the son. So at his father's Levaya, he said, "Going like my father, plenty of people like him." And his brothers wanted to kill him. I heard this from my father. His brothers wanted to kill him. Oh, here he goes again. Troublemaker of the family. A tzaddik like my father, plenty like him too. Their mom is ready to plot at the Levaya. That's the way you talk about your father. And they had it for him because he was rebellious. He was, and then a doctor business like my father. Bad. There's plenty like that. And the brothers are plotting them, and he keeps going on and on about you. Makes a bittle of everything about his father, and then he says, "But to have all those things together, that only my father could do." That's the way I did it. My father told me this story. Anyway, you have to be your own self. You want to do kibbutz av? Be yourself. You know what's inside you? You know what's inside you that the world will never hear? I'm going to tell you a murder computer. I mean this now. This is a good idea here. I have my notes, a mice of Rav Galinsky. Somebody went to Rav Galinsky with terrible trouble. He was suffering from his son. My son was already, there's a mice of about, it must have been 20 years ago. His son he had read him every shidduch in the world, and his son was not interested. And he wasn't so, the father was once a little particular also, and now the son's already older, and it was a whole, and the father comes crying to Galinsky, and he tells him, "Look what's happening to me. I tried so much, and my son's going nowhere." And Rav Galinsky started screaming at him. He says, "You like to be mashim yourself. That's the bitter amidas." You know, bitter amidas is Stipler once told somebody. His daughter wasn't married. And he called the Stipler, he got in touch with him. The Stipler says, "In the next world, they're going to take you apart. Like they do in Novehardok. They're mavar the midas. What's the real thing that's making you tick? What's the real emes? Why is your daughter married? Because you want the best boy in yeshiva because of your redivas hakovid. They'll kill you for that." The Stipler in Novehardok. And he said, "They're going to let you have it the next world." Okay. Be careful with anything sharp that I say. We have to know where we're holding, watch out. Whatever. But that's what he told him. So now Galinsky gave this younger man a bitter amidus. You're going around so tzabroch about your son. Your son's already over the hill, and he's still not married. And you're blaming yourself. And you're blaming yourself again. Now, you know it's really ticking. So for the rest of your life, here's a person that he took care of his father. I met plenty people like this. Plenty. I didn't take care of my father the way I should. That's why he was nifta. It was my fault. For the rest of my life, I'm on a guilt trip for what I did to my father, or my mother, or my son, or my daughter. It's my fault. I messed up. The aggravation that I caused, it was my fault. Now go ahead the rest of your life and go around like this. And feel good about yourself. Feel good, because you're putting yourself in your place. It's very healthy to put yourself down. It's great. It's a great feeling of self-pity, of being a real El Chamench who lives with the truth. You have to live with the truth. I once did something wrong, now suffer. And then get sick, chas v'shalom, and end up in the hospital, chas v'shalom. And then people will say at the Levaya, at your Levaya, they can say, Nebuch, because he never, and that's why they're right, by the way. But he's off the wall. He's out at first base. What are you having aggravation for? Rav Weinkrantz told me, in the next world, they'll tell you, you had aggravation? Patch! What you have aggravation? What happened to Komandarach Model Tavovi? But I caused it. Here it's different. Oh, that's so nice, but you caused it. This is what Galinsky told this younger man. Anything to get altruistic. Just give me an excuse. I'm looking for it. The person doesn't even chop that before his issue, he was looking to pull himself down. He was looking to do that. He's just looking for the opportunity to be able to say, I'm no good. It's the reason why I'm no good is because my wife or my sister or my this or my job, or I can't earn a living, or I don't speak nice to people. That's not the reason. The reason is you love putting yourself down. So in Shemayim, they give you an opportunity. You like to call yourself a zero? Yeah, we'll give you opportunities galore. All kinds of tragedies in your life. So you can go around with self-pity. I once asked Reb Shlomo Cheshen Zatzal, what do you say? You're dealing with thousands of people. What can you give me an idea? What would you tell the public if you wanted to give them all a message? So he said, if you want to have pity on yourself, don't have self-pity. Cut that garbage. It kills everybody. Holy Torah, every bit of it, beginning to end. However, Mendel has to add his 2 cents before we continue. If you have it and you can't control it, it's fine. So you have self-pity. So you're not perfect with your meters. So kill yourself a little bit. So what? You get sick a little. So what? You're not in a Novandig where you're going to turn around your meters. But if after you listen to Mandel enough times, I might be able to pull you out of the mud pie that you're in. And you'll be a happy person. You'll have the same tikkun. You'll be as good as the Leiv Nishbar too. I know that. So it's kedai to be on board with me. You keep hearing this stuff enough times, you'll be happy forever. Galinsky told this person, don't you dare worry for a second. It's your own rutzin to pull yourself down. I had a kid, you putter, it's not your kid. I've seen the Vardigas, more than one, who have viewed their kids as if they weren't their own kids. And they love their kids. They weren't missing an obvious. But Atkan, Chayacha Kaidmin, it's not my child. I have no responsibility. Galinsky told this to this younger man. You try, goodbye. There's a kavayosha that says, kids off the derech, go over to him, give him a shmooze, give him another shmooze. Every day, give him a little shmooze. Do it for so many months. If he listens good, he didn't. Get away from the kid. You're off the hook. No one's going to check you in the next world that you raised a bad kid. None of that's just some garbage. You try, you're off the hook. And he wasn't in a bar to get a kavayosha. He says it. Come on, Sechel kavayosha. It's sort of famous Muslim. So it's all a dimyan, all the aggravations that people have is rooted in the love of being Nebuch. But I'm going to stick up now for all those guys that are attacking Nebuch. I told this boy to a big Talmud Chacham over Pesach. I told him, why the matzahs round? Ugais matzahs. It looks like a lave. Rachmana liba boy. You're leaving, you're not an Eved Pari, you're Eved Hashem. You know what the difference is? By Pari or by anybody. If you didn't do the job, you're dead. By the Eveshte, all he wants is the heart. Like Chavetz Chaim says, you work hard and you didn't accomplish anything. You're going to get schar. Rachmana liba boy. It's around matzah. That's why the matzah is such a happy thing. Hashem loves us. He don't care. That's why the matzahs. Lo yuchel ismameh. You know, the matzahs. He pulled us out of Mitzrayim. Didn't get a chance to rise up to show his love. He's showing his love, and that's why it's a heart. And because all he wants from us is just a heart. It's full of love. The matzah symbolizes love. And why is it a broken matzah that you pick up? The prusa. Leiv nishba v'nitke elikim le'sivza. You pick up, it says, matzah zushon oichlim. What does it say in that Gada? Pick up the prusa, right? The broken one. And pick them up. And look up at that broken matzah and say, Kazer Kadesh. That's good stuff. A broken heart. Kotzker Rebbe says, he never saw a thing as whole as a broken heart. Good stuff. Stay with it, especially B'nai Torah. The brokenness comes from, I wish I'd learned better, done better. I wish it comes from Ruchnius. Ashrei Chaltam. Nothing wrong. Have a broken heart as much as you wish. But if you join me in a Vardik, you'll get the same schar as all those broken hearts, and you'll be happy like crazy. Learn B'tachon an hour a day. Spend an hour a day, or a half hour a day. Sit there, enjoy, and think happy thoughts. And that's all B'tachon. By the way, the first thing you do before you start any Mussar Seder is write down all the good things that happened that day. That's Aleph. Right? And thank verbally. That's Aleph. It's going to put you in a different world. Thankfulness. Thank the Eibishter, we had a wonderful Pesach, and we accomplished worlds. This Pesach was the best Pesach we ever had. We accomplished worlds. This Pesach we cracked through right now. There are two seniors who are about to get married. I mean seniors, they're not. He's not a Shminé Esrei L'chuppah guy. He's almost... he's almost one of the others. He could be a Zayda at this point, and he's meeting his first girl. One of those. I don't know if she's the first, but let's hope it's going to be a shidduch. Rabbi said, give a bracha. She'll become a shidduch. They should get married quickly and happily. Amen. And all the others with them. I don't give up. We cracked the Yam Suf in half, broke no barriers. The Abies are going to do anything. You get so much schar just for talking like this. Rachmana liba boy. You're talking. Talk big. That means we're telling Hashem, we know it's not so easy to learn Mussar for 2 hours to become a Ganza Navadig and not so fast. But we try to, and we want to. And the Abies should help. We should be Zeicha to the Gula. Shlema, I'm going to go another 10 minutes. Fill up my hour. Don't turn me off. You know what happened? I heard 2 reports today, just today, 2 reports of 2 people. I got one of my relatives calls me up. Oh, this big Talmid Chacham. He says he goes to sleep with your stuff. I says, oh. And then I met another relative who told me about someone else. Oh, so-and-so. Every night he goes to sleep with your stuff. So I said, what does that mean? You go to sleep. You want to fall asleep? You turn me on. What? I'm better than a pillow? I'd like to have some money. I'm saving you the sleeping pills. I'm that good? I'm so boring. I'm putting everybody to sleep. No. I mean in a good way. Oh, okay, I'm not sure anymore. The guys who are looking for covet, they're always afraid. People who are looking for covet, they told me in Novandig, are always suspicious. Did you mean? So I'm a human being, of course, looking for covet high and low. If she gives it to me, my b'dikas chametz says, where can I get more covet? I'm going to tell you something about b'dikas chametz. Listen to this. It says, chametz is asa b'mashahu. A drop of chametz, no good. So I say, mida taiva meruba. A drop of Yerushalayim is 500 times better than that drop of chametz. The other way. It's good fun. No one ever said this. I think I was the first one since Adam Rishon that made that one up. And Reb Chatzkel used to say this, it's like a magnifying glass. You don't chop every tiny move you make in this world. You came here. You know how many billions of malachim came along with you? Whoever came tonight's special because it's not official. It's not half official, whatever. No one knows. It's Monday. Where it's Monday. It's not Sunday. Whatever it is. And whoever came, it's after Yom Tov, is going to be zeicha this past this. This is going to be not shy. I got trouble over. I got a lot of trouble over Yom Tov. I came into a shul, so my shul was off. So I went to another shul. I went to more than one shul. I had my fun. Meet my old friends. And said, hello. Oh, the Rav is here. So, by the way, my shul has become much more accommodating. Yes. Now you don't have to pass the deep water test to join us. They fixed the leak. Right? They fixed it. It's gewaldig. We are getting fancy. We have a couple of rats and mice. Every now in the middle of davening, they might say hello to you. I'm joking. It's not that bad. But we hold our own. The old Novanis would be proud of us. We're down in a basement. I was like, it's good. It's just perfect for my taste. Anyway, so but I got it over the head because I started, I let loose. The alien doesn't see me that much. They see me. Where are you, Mendel? We don't see you anymore. I said, you don't know him? I got set up. I have my own Kehillah. The Novandik of Mlikewood. You never heard of me? How could that be? You didn't hear about me? Trying so hard to get covered. I'm joking. Anyway, but so what did they tell me? They told me, anyway, I made myself, I started saying a Shabbos to everybody. Good Yom Tov. Happy Passover, Rabbi. I started that stuff. All those holy rabbis, have a happy Passover. Yes. I started doing that stuff all through Yom Tov. So this Bacher, a younger man, comes over to me. Mendel, please be Meichel, but that wasn't yeshivish. It wasn't yeshiva. I said, that's exactly why I did it. But that doesn't pass. Yeah, you can't do it. Oh, really? Okay. I want to make the guys happy a little bit. I once asked my rabbi, you should know jokes that you make. Jokes that you make, check them out. I did a lot of research how to make a correct joke. I try. I hope I'm a scout. But then I hope they're good. That's my main fear is it a good joke? Or they're going to look at me and this guy trying to be funny, And it's not working. They tell all the big speakers, do not crack jokes if you're not good at it, because you'll destroy yourself. You want to have bizarres, trying to make a joke and that nobody's looking, oh, that's supposed to be funny yet. What are you trying to do? I told you, Chaim Kanevsky, one of the biggest B'tchonim in the world, made a joke. It was whole. You could see it. And he made the joke and Chaim didn't laugh. So he repeated it. And Chaim didn't laugh. So the guy came along with him. Another guy, two guys, started explaining the joke. Once you explain the joke, it's over. I told you my father, my mother. I told you already. I told you about my father, my mother. My father, Gilitziani, made jokes 24/7. My mother was a yeki. She didn't have one single joke. I'm an Adria. I sat there my whole life. I saw my father used to come in every night with jokes, and my mother looked at him. Yucky. She was a straight yucky. What did you mean with that? No, I don't quite understand. She's a yucky. What are you gonna do? I'm like half and half, That's why I'm an interesting guy. I'm an interesting, Anyway, they say, what's the crossbreed between a rabbit and a hen? Nishtahin, nishtaher. You ever hear that one? Crossbreed between a rabbit and a hen. Nishtahin, nishtaher. Some, like, I don't know. I'm like, my parents got together. They know what they're getting into themselves into. They got me. Look what they were zeicha to. Oh, anyway, so And my father cracked jokes. My mother never chopped one. And I told it over to my brother. My brother said, not true. 3 o'clock in the morning, Mommy used to suddenly jump out of bed and start laughing. She chopped. It took a while. Delayed reaction. So I told my father, never. I'm talking about my father today. It would be proper for me to make a hesped about my father. Never. I told my father, Ein roya penei Gehenim. Thanks to my mother who never chopped his jokes. You know what a hard life it is where your wife doesn't chop your jokes? I'm joking. I'm just joking. Anyway, Abe still helping. To give me a bracha, my jokes should start. I got a new one. Wait, somebody gave me a great line. He told me, when you collect money from now on, how are you going to collect money? First tell the guy, I'm here to do you a favor. It's a good line, no? I'd like to do you a favor. People call me up with all kinds of issues, and they give money. I don't usually ask. But if they do, I, the Shita, accept. I have a Mercedes for my Rebbe. Lo'olam tikach. Somebody once came to Rabbi Gershon Liebman, and he told him Rabbi Yaakov Shita of not taking from the government, the food stamps, Section 8, whatever, no good. And Rabbi Moshe said, you should take. So he asked Rabbi Gershon, what do you hold? Rabbi Gershon said, Rabbi Moshe is smart. Lo'olam tikach. So I was makabel that for my Rebbe. Everybody has to be a man of principle. I have a strict principle. I always take if they give me, if they offer me. But I tell them now, this is my latest line. Maybe I can pull this off. I tell, look, I'm not telling you to give me anything. You want to hear my latest mifsim? Everybody say, do you want to hear my latest mifsim? It's crazy. They're getting better and better. They're calling me up. Latest mifsim, boom. He suddenly had a kid. Boom. Suddenly got engaged. Right after your bracha. Boom. There's no end to my stuff. Somebody said about, you know what an admar is? I'm the Zkara admirim. The other ones are called admar. Admar means they admire me. Admar, Mandal the Zkara, I'm joking. Anyway, I'm Sajab Bam, wife is anyway, so Rebbe's all helping that my jokes, give me a bracha. My jokes should have more, and the guys shouldn't come to put me on to fall asleep. They shouldn't put me on to fall asleep. I got to get a reputation out there. You want to go to sleep? Turn on me. Turn on Mendel. Where's my stamps? Get some stamps, everybody say, in the closet there. Want to bring some out? Open the closet, there's some stuff. Johnny, some more Johnny Walkers. Let's get to work. That's right. Right there, right to the right. Out away. Bring in some. Let's bring them in. Bring them all in. Get some cups. Want to get some cups? We have to drink, everybody said. We have to do tshuva. After Pesach, you have to have much more. Look into your meisim more and be more. We didn't drink enough. By Eilam, they say al chait. He asked Bechila to Jack. Jack, I'm so sorry. You've been sitting here and I've been leaving you alone and neglecting you. You know, by the way, I said goodbye to Jack. This Purim, I made a shinoi. I got 2 Johnny Walkers. So I decided, Jack, it's over. Get me that bottle over there, the square one. There's 2 more bottles over there. What? You want to go upstairs? Yeah, go right. Give a knock. Give a knock. Out of way. And there's another one over there. There's another, the green bottle. Out of way. Town branch. This looks good. Wait a minute, turn me on. I want the able to see. I didn't lose my touch. In fact, I'm even better than I used to be. Since Pesach, you think I'm 4 cups is a simon. What? Yeah, give a bang and just say that you're coming in to get some cups. That's all. Thanks a lot. And there we go. We're going to give everybody, this is Smirnoff, lime, vodka infused with natural flavors, gluten-free, okay. What does this have to do with gluten? I don't chop. Come, bring them up, bring them along. Anybody know how to open this? Let's get some vodka. Let's drink a l'chaim. We're going to make the 4 bechers are there to teach everybody hasogis. You gotta drink and drink and drink. 4 means, I think the Maharal speaks 4 as a number of, it's a riboy, you know. Don't just, so take, everybody say, take some. We're gonna drink now. Whoever joins this l'chaim, whoever's at this maimed is gonna see Yeshuas. You'll see 2 of me in a minute too. Imagine 2 of me. Take everybody, whoever wants. Take some of this stuff. Chaim Tovim L'Shalom Shidduchim for all those people. And Roshib, quickly, the most difficult cases, nothing's too hard. Kriyas Yamza, we're going to bust through all our problems. Ruchnias, Kashmias, but Pratakal, we're going to turn over Klal Yisrael, bring back all those lost Jews. Nobody will be left behind. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, shahak alem et varei. Amen.